Okay, I'm here again. I'm gonna redo the tier list, not because of anything with the tier list, but because the first half of the VOD was basically unwatchable. 1 second. Alright. 1 second. Yeah, this time I have to keep my Nitronome on me. Because as you all know, it's November currently, which is Nitronome November. So y'all better be using your Nitronomes. It's a good bomb. Wait, which one's first? I wasn't checking. Yeah, it's gonna be the same, like nearly the same. Maybe if I like forget, I might place one differently. Also, I realized that apparently there wasn't an E tier, it just went from D to F. So I added the E tier. So maybe I'll move stuff around down there, but other than that, it's gonna be basically the same thing. Alright, Acheron. I mean, it just goes in alphabetical order, so... Acheron. Well, first off, brandishes in general are all just good weapons. They're a little unbalanced, to be honest. They're quick. They got just really good. Okay, I should probably go to tier 3. 31 damage isn't a good demonstration. Forgot to undeafen. Anyways. Alright. Yeah, they're quick. They're really quick. They've got fast charge attacks that have a lot of range. And they deal a lot of damage. You can knock enemies back into each explosion, which is just really, really good for single target DPS and AoE. And Acheron especially is the dominating branded. Oh, I forgot to ignore that. You know what? I'm gonna deal with it. I edited some models. And I forgot to change them back, so I'm just gonna deal with it now. So Acheron, it deals the most damage out of all of them, because it doesn't have a status effect, or a damage bonus, which the other ones do have. And yeah, it's just really, really good. So it's a very obvious S tier when I find the window. I don't think there's really too much more to talk about other than just brandishes being really good. Amputator. Hey, what's up, Macus Pat? Amputator. On the opposite side of brandishes, it's definitely the worst, because it just deals normal damage. And the thing about normal damage is, I mean, it is versatile, because you can use it against anything and not have to worry about, dealing just really bad damage if you got like this. Okay, I should have reset my spotlights. Oh well. You know what? I'm gonna. Alright, I'm gonna reset my spiral lights because because I had some fun with Spiral Spy. Let's just leave it at that.
Quack.
Quack. Hey, you take that back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's what you're doing. Oh, I gotta see this.
Yeah, I'm gonna reset my Spiral Knights because I forgot about all the sword things I did. I made like Barbarous Thornblade really big.
Hello. I'm here
Hello.
for a discussion of sorts.
Hi, I'm resetting my game because I forgot about the models I made last night.
Yes.
When I like flipped Combuster around, I forgot about that.
This is Combuster. Oh wait, no, the Sudaruska. Wait.
Rex is either AFK, sleeping, or dead, but I brought him.
Tara, can you make sure that the microphone isn't extremely quiet? I added a boost because I didn't even know I could do this, but I added a boost to both my mic and the sword is big because I made it big, and now I'm making it unbig.
Unbig.
Big.
Well, okay, I would do that. In fact, should I just switch to an all swords tier list? Because I was only doing the 5-star swords.
Okay, it's not that quiet anymore.
It's actually you can actually hear it, and the jazz
I can
music
actually hear it.
isn't just louder than everything else.
Like I just hear something and then I close it, so I can like preserve RAM. But yeah.
Okay. Well, it's taken a lot longer to reset the files because I've got like a Discord and OBS open.
We still love you.
Thank you.
Mwah. Anyways.
I would have hit.
I would put Proto Sword in S tier, but Proto Sword isn't on the 5-star sword tier list.
Hey Matt, other than Vanity, what's the other level that's best for Shinings? Do you know?
Shining?
Rotting
Metropolis, I guess.
We're just doing arcade, honestly.
Or Dreams and Nightmares if you're unlucky.
Yeah, probably not the best.
I mean, I run arcade and I get tons of shinings.
Yeah, me too.
It's at 90%, just give me a second.
We're almost there, boys. It's almost time for our very accurate, very philosophical discussion.
I mean, I was gonna do that.
Okay, well, we're just gonna comment.
Yes.
Provide our insight.
You better.
Yes.
Ow, my insights.
Oh. Not those yet. Anyways, join Only Nights. We're pretty cool.
I did!
Yeah, see, even Spark did.
I finally
We are
did it.
consuming everything.
Now we're
What's the
unstoppable.
storm?
Okay, now the game itself is validating. Oh,
Someone put a Crest of Storm on the auction house?
I think it's actually open.
No, it's something Daniel is selling.
There
Oh,
we
it's-
go.
it's
Now I have
the
to
Stormy
walk
box.
back into the guild hall.
I've never seen the Stormy boxes.
Oh,
We
well, it's
are
like a
the
golden
storm
amulet.
goddess
Kind of cool.
Hmm.
It's like 20k. 15
Nice.
something.
Oh, what was that?
Alright, for some strange reason, my freaking Swift Like Buckler in more than one hit. How?
Put the skin, the Swiss Strike Buckler, go on the tier list.
I mean, I think there's a shield tier list, but I'm doing swords tonight.
Yes,
So,
but what if, does Orbit Gun count as a sword?
Anyways, guys, I have to go walk back to the training hall now.
Jesus. We're on
Anyways,
stream, damn it.
okay, I'm going to be in a room because I have things to eat. I'll be still here, but just a quick bite. Finally, I'm not starving to death.
Yes.
This is great. We love it when guildies don't starve to death. This is what Only Knights is all about.
I'm hungry.
Well, I'm gonna continue talking about normal damage. So the thing, oh, there's my Barbarous Thornblade. Back to
Oh yeah. that's what
a
I was
form
gonna
of
do.
its
Level my normal
a
damage.
shadow of its former self.
So I'm actually gonna make a loadout with nothing but normal damage.
So the thing about
And
normal
there
damage
goes the generator again.
is
Fuck.
it is versatile because you can use it against anything and just, you know, deal a decent amount of damage. But at the
Well,
same
I
time,
now-
it's just
I now have a new weapon or a new sword that is all normal
it's just
damage.
worse than
What is it?
other weapons that deal
It's a
like
fucking
actual
pillow.
damages,
Oh, it's new?
like elemental. It's just better to
Why
have
did
an
you get a
elemental.
pillow? And
Auction
why?
house.
Sorry, boys. Yeah, so normal damage weapons, I mean, you know, you can use them anywhere, but they deal less damage than, you know, weapons that don't deal normal damage. Like, it's better to just have both a Combuster and an Acheron than to have an Amputator. Because they just deal, like, a lot more damage. And also, the damage resist slime high kind of sucks, but that's just part of the weapon. Because it's had damage resist slime high for a while. I forgot which scene. Alright. I think I put this in C tier last time. I'm gonna keep it there. Because Amputator itself is not... Like, actually, no, I'm gonna move it to B tier. Amputator, it's alright. Just because it's a brandish. It's the only reason it's good. It's just because it's being carried by the fact that it's part of the brandish line of weapons. Alright. Barbarous Thornblade, the other sword that wasn't modded a second ago. 1 second. Sorry about that. Wait. Alright, sorry about that. So, flourishes. I used to think flourishes were... like, I used to think flourishes kind of just sucked. Until I actually decided to start using them, mainly because I made a deadly candy poker. And I rolled ASI high in it, and I was like, hey, I want to actually use this. And I found out how amazing flourishes were. And for a very long time, I heard, hey,
Sleeping.
sorry, what?
Yeah. Well, let me
Almerian-
get on.
you mean
I
Almerian
refreshed
Priest?
my crap because I was playing with somebody else for a little bit.
Also, FYI, this is a streaming bunker.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not even sure what's going on. I'm just gonna ignore that for now. So, for a very long time, I heard that Barbarous Thornblade was way better because of the charge attack than regular flourishes. And after finally using regular flourishes, I completely flipped my opinion, and I thought that regular flourishes were better, just in general, because they deal a lot of damage. Like, it deals so much damage that it has to convert it to normal damage. And then I started doing things like Heart of Ice with just swords, and I would bring a Flourish. And what I've concluded is that Barbarous Thornblade is better against fiends and groups, because it has a lot of AoE. And then regular Flourishes are a lot better for beasts, specifically wolvers. Yeah, so Flourishes, they're actually really, really good. The only problem is that they only deal piercing damage. So they're not too effective against, like, gremlins or undead. But they are really good. And another thing about Barbarous Thornblade, it's really effective against killing Trojans. It's like an instant Blitz Needle, kind of. But Blitz Needle, you know, you've got to sit here for like a whole 2 seconds before you move around. Barbarous Thornblade is just you swing it, boom, and you can like immediately walk away. But people usually don't bring Barbarous Thornblade to like Vanna because it's not that good there. Barbarous Thornblade, I'm moving it into A tier. It's a really good sword. I don't think it's good enough for S. Same thing with the Final Flourish. They're both really, really good. So yeah. Celestial. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, where I just rank all the Caliburs at once. Because I don't actually have all of the Caliburs. I have Leviathan Blade, and then Fang Of Vog, but I'll talk about Fang Of Vog later. So the thing about Caliburs is they're actually not that bad. The only problem is that, out of the like 4 that are in the game, 3 of them do magic or do normal damage. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, out of the 5 that are in the game, 4 of them deal normal damage. And then 3 out of those 4 ones are just worse versions of the Leviathan Blade. So the only ones I'd recommend, I mean, I'll talk about Fang Of Vog later, but the only one I recommend even using is Leviathan Blade. I mean, the Celestial Saber and the Pillow do look nice, so you know, if you want to use the weapon because it looks cool, by all means, because I mean that's kind of the reason why I use Tech Green Fury's Fork. It's not better than the regular Flourish at all, but so anyway, I'm rambling a bit. So Caliburs are really good with the charge attack. You can hit them 3 times with just the charge, and then immediately hit them again with a regular attack. I was testing it in what's called Nature of the Beasts a few weeks ago. It's pretty effective against Wolvers, actually. Also, it has a lot of knockback, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. I find it to be really good just to get enemies away from you. And if you're trying to just deal damage, then you get them against a wall, or you could use a Vortex Bomb or Freeze or something like that. Overall, basically what I'm trying to say is that they're a lot better than people think they are. I'm gonna throw it in about like mid-tier-ish. Because, you know, in general, it's still not that great of a weapon. I'm gonna throw it in C tier for now. It's a good weapon. It's just not incredible. And then the other ones I'm gonna throw just lower because actually, Celestial Saber, it deals stun, which is alright, I guess. You know, it's not terrible, but I think having just extra damage would be a lot better. And then you have Cold Iron Vanquisher, which has a damage versus undead, which is unnecessary. It's just not good. Just makes, I mean, it looks cooler, but the damage bonus isn't worth it. And then you have the Sweet Dreams, which has stun and a damage bonus undead, which is terrible. It has 2 things that, and again, the damage bonuses and the status effects lower the base damage of the weapon. So Sweet Dreams does a lot less damage than Leviathan Blade. So yeah, I mean again, use these if you want to, because they do look nice. But in terms of how good it is, just make Leviathan Blade if you want to use a Calibur. All right, Combuster. Where am I? Combuster. So another brand, okay. Everybody left. Okay, cool. I can undeafen now. So Calibur. Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah, everyone left. So Combuster. It's another I keep saying Calibur. It's another brandish. So it's automatically going to be like towards the top of the tier list, just because brandishes are a little unbalanced like that. And Combuster is one of the 3 elemental dealing brandishes. I don't actually have either of the other 2, but I feel like I've seen enough to be able to rate them pretty well, and they're all going to be pretty high in the tier list anyways. I think Combuster is definitely the best out of the elemental ones, just because it's pure damage and a knockback. There's been a lot of debates about which one is better in Firestorm Citadel between Voltedge and Combuster, because Voltedge does have the extra damage from the shock, but the shock usually stops enemies from being knocked back, and therefore they don't get hit with the entire charge attack. One sec. Never mind, I can't type. So yeah, it's a good weapon, does a lot of damage. Very good, you know, deals elemental. Fire does a lot of extra damage as well. And it's a brandish, so it's automatically just really good. Like, it's automatically just up there. So yeah, I'm gonna throw an S tier. Not much to say about it. It's just, it's a really good weapon. Divine Avenger. Actually, I'm gonna because I talked about it a little bit. I'm gonna throw a Voltedge up there as well. All right, Divine Avenger. I used to. Now this applies to all 2-swing weapons. I used to think 2-swing weapons kind of just sucked, but then I learned about sword stepping, which is this little trick where you hold your attack button and you charge it for a second as you walk, and it allows you to move, which is really good for swords and really good for 2-swing weapons because without it you just kind of stand there and you can't really do much. It's not really that great. I mean, for 3-swing weapons, it's alright, because if you knock them too far back, you can hold it. Or vice versa, if you want to sword step the first part, you can just do that.
Anyways, yes.
Anyways, Divine Avenger, it deals more damage. It deals the same damage if there was an elemental brightness that didn't have a status effect. And it's got a really good charge attack where it shoots 3 blades. I used to think. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what I said last time, but I'm forgetting. Anyways, the more I use.
Basically, you said the same thing the last time.
Basically, it's good.
The experience is good. That's it.
Yeah, the more I use Divine Avenger, the more I realize it's still one of even it used to be like the best weapon in the game, like a really long time ago, and then they quote unquote nerfed. I mean, they did nerf it, but the more I use it, the more I realize it's still one of the best weapons in the game. It just has a really good charge attack. I mean, there is this where if you release it against a wall, the swords hit the wall behind you, which is annoying. Hi, Antonine Karen. I can speak.
Don't worry, me neither.
Yeah, it's really good. It's the shots are basically like an elemental Magnus, kind of. So they're really good against bigger enemies. It's good for AoE. It's really good for Devilites, which is something that I learned because they usually just dash into the charge attack or into one of the other blades, and they get knocked back. And since it does elemental damage, it's, you know, deals normal damage for them. So, clicked the wrong window. Divine Avenger, I'm very obvious S tier. Obvious wasn't the word I wanted to use. S tier. Alright, cutters. I'm gonna rank both of them at once because the thing about cutter.
They're basically the same thing, but one deals poison and another has like a cool effect.
Basically, they're really bad.
Yeah.
Now, okay, they do look cool. I really like the idea. I remember when I first made the 2-star cutter, I thought, wow, this is like the coolest sword in the game. Like, look at that speed. But yeah, it's not compared to other 5-star weapons. First off, you know, you have the normal damage factor. which automatically makes it inferior to like most of the other weapons, just because it deals normal damage. And so cutters are like a low damage, high attack sort of thing. But the problem with cutters, well, first off, let's look at both the cutters in the game. They got Dread Venom Striker and Wild Hunting Blade. Wild Hunting Blade just has a damage bonus, which is not what you want. There isn't like a normal one that just does damage. You either get the poison or the damage bonus. So Dread Venom Striker is going to be a little bit better, just because it's, you know, it's got the poison, and the damage versus beast doesn't really matter, especially if you're wearing Black Cat or Chaos, when you already have a damage bonus. Yeah, and then the main problem I have, well actually there's two big problems I have with cutters. I almost said combusters. No, normal damage isn't good, that's what I was saying. Normal damage weapons, TLDR, normal damage weapons are automatically inferior to like weapons that actually deal certain damages, just because they deal less damage. Because normal damage, yeah, it's versatile. You can use this Leviathan Blade against anything, and you know, do okay. But you could also just, you know, get this Combuster and then deal like way more damage against these guys, or even like, you know, against slimes. The Elemental Sword still does more damage. Well, it's probably not a fair comparison. You know, this Amputator, even though it does normal damage, it still deals less normal damage against slimes. So yeah, normal damage weapons are, in general, they're inferior to, you know, weapons that don't just deal normal damage. So like just right off the bat,
some exceptions, but yeah.
Some exceptions, but I'll talk about those later. I mean, I already talked about one of them, which is Amputator, which is being carried by the fact that it's a brandish. It's really the only thing that's like making it above mid-tier. Now, the main two problems about cutters. First off, it doesn't stagger. In like an actual tier 3 level, it doesn't stagger, which is really bad because it's like a short range weapon. And it not staggering probably has to do with the fact that it deals normal damage. It doesn't deal enough damage to stagger. But still, like, you have to get up close to hit your enemies, but then you can't stagger them, so you just end up getting hit anyways. And then the other problem I have with it is against enemies that don't, you know, against enemies that don't have a lot of knockback resistance. Usually when you're spamming your sword, you don't hit them the first swing, because it has like, you know, this swing and then like a mimic swing after that. Sometimes well, most of the time, if you're like just like hitting an enemy with a basic combo, the first swing will knock them away, and then you won't hit them with the mimic swing. So you're losing like half of your damage just because of the knockback. Like right there, I hit that shuffle bot 4 times with this whole combo, which should hit 10 times. I only hit it 4 times. So yeah, that was a like perfect example of what I meant by the knockback. So yeah, just not a very good weapon. Too close range, not enough damage to matter. I keep clicking on Starlights. Alright. So yeah, E tier for both. You know, they can be alright if you're using them in like tier 2 or in like the very early stages of tier 3. But other than that, there's no practical use for them. Like I don't even think the poison from the Dread Venom Striker is worth using. Alright, Fang Of Vog.
If you are using them like a freaking Joe weapon, then sure, go ahead. Anyways.
Sorry, I was drinking some water.
Hey, stay hydrated,
Alright,
boys.
stay hydrated. Alright, Fang Of Vog. Unfortunately not a cutter. I mean, it looks like one. But it's actually a Calibur. Now the thing about Fang Of Vog is I was talking about how Caliburs are actually pretty good, and Fang Of Vog just so happens to be an elemental caliber, and it does deal a lot of damage. Like that was I think that was 500 damage like 4 times there, plus the fire, plus I can hit it immediately afterwards. I'm pretty sure it can like one-shot Dreadnoughts and Trojan. Oh, don't worry. Obsidian Edge, I'll explain Obsidian Edge later, but they're both going to be an S2. They're both going to be right next to each other. I'll explain the differences between them once I get to Obsidian Edge. What are they talking about? Oh yeah, so Fang of Vog. The problem with Fang of Vog is that it lights you on fire. Which, I mean, okay, I can kind of understand it's part of the weapon, it's like really powerful. But the problem with that is, if you're using optimal gear, you're going to be using Chaos or Black Cat, which gives you negative fire resistance. So it's just going to kill you. So if you want to optimally use Fang of Vog, you're going to wear an armor set with fire resistance, aka an armor set that doesn't have a good damage bonus. Because even like the Vog Cup set gives attack speed instead of damage bonus, so you're losing out on damage for damage. Other than that, it is a really good. It is a really good sword. Yeah. It just lights you on fire, which makes you not use Black Cat. It is a bit slower. For some reason, it is slower than other Caliburs. I think it has the same. Yeah, in the item description, it has the same speed, but it's like it's like visibly slower. Like I can swing this around, and then Fang of Vog. I'm spamming my mouse. It's just this much slower. But it's also one of the few weapons that can actually light things on fire with its regular attack, which is okay, I guess. But yeah, it is like really powerful if you have like a good setup. To be honest, if you have like a vortex bomb, to be honest, it could be better than a combustor if you have like a perfect setup with like fire resistance and good UVs on it to make up for the damage you lose from not wearing Black Cat. I'm gonna throw it. F. Alright, I'm gonna throw it in like either C or B. I'm gonna throw it in B tier. Actually, I'm gonna throw it in C tier because you need to have like a specific damage setup if you want to use it optimally. If not, then you're not going to be doing a lot of damage anyways. Other than that, it is a really good sword, but it just lights you on fire. Alright, now here, okay, again, Faust. Why is there Faust here? There's Faust and there's Gran Faust. I went over this last time, but there's just both for some reason. Alright, the other two flourishes, the Fearless Rigadoon, is that what it's called? And something way. What are they called?
Flamberge. It's
Fearless Rigadoon and Furious Flamberge. I don't have the Rigadoon. I do have a Tech Green Furious Fork, which is a Flamberge reskin. And I'm gonna like just because they are flourishes, they are really good. They're just decent weapons, but they're not worth making over Final Flourish at all. Like especially fire. This is something. I mean, if I made like a gun tier list and I wanted to talk about the Alchemers, I would say the same thing with Fire Driver. Don't make it because like between these two weapons, you're losing piercing damage for the fire status effect, which just deals damage over the time, so you're just losing damage or more damage. It's just not worth using. That being said, it does look nice, so you know. I'm going to assume that the chance of the Rigadoon stunning is the same as the Furious Fork dealing fire, which is like, I think it's like 1 in 60 or something. It's very low, and it's just not worth. It's not worth the damage lost from having the fire status at all. So other than that, you know, it's a Flourish. It's good. It's alright.
It's good, but it could be better.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna throw them both in C tier for now. I might move them down just because why would you make both either of these if you could just make Final Flourish? Glacius. To be honest, I think I'm still, because last time, I don't have a Glacius, but last time I put Glacius in A tier, I think I'm still gonna put it in S tier. Just because it is an elemental brandish. And sometimes, very rarely, the pure crowd control from the freeze can be nice. One of the few missions I can think of where I would actually say bring a Glacius would be Red Romulus Twins. Both because, first off, Fire and Shock are not very good in that mission, which are the other two options for elemental brandishes. But also, Freeze in particular is really nice to have in that mission because Red Romulus Twins is like a bunch of really small rooms packed with enemies and traps. So, you know, having either a lot of knockback, like from a sword that deals knockback, or maybe a bomb, like Metronome. Or just having, you know, freeze, because sleep doesn't work on the construct anyways, so having something like freeze to just, you know, stop things from, you know, getting close to you would be nice. So, you know, Glacius, and other than that, it's an elemental brandish, it's already one of the best swords. Alright, now we have Faust and Gran Faust. Don't know why Faust is here, I'm just gonna leave it on there. Gran Faust. Wait. Alright, I said a lot about Gran Faust, and I'm gonna try to summarize it. So basically, it's not as good as Divine Avenger. It deals the same exact damage as Acheron, for some reason. I'm pretty sure it used to deal a lot more than they nerfed it. I'm not 100% sure. Gran Faust is one of the few weapons that doesn't have a damage penalty for its status effect. So, you know, it has Curse, but it deals the same normal damage as the Divine Avenger, so this deals 361 normal damage, this deals 361 normal damage. They both deal the same amount of damage, it's just a different damage type. But that's probably because it has a chance to receive Curse. Which is one of the things. It's not the only reason why the charge attack is not good, but it's the main reason why the charge attack is not good. Because yeah, it's kind of the same thing with Fang Of Vog, where, you know, Fang Of Vog has a chance to light and fire. This one has a chance to curse you. Yeah, I know the stream. There's like a 10-second delay, I think, on the stream. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can fix that. Yeah, so the thing about Curse, so first off, it has a chance to curse you, which is awful because you kind of just have to sit there for like a minute. Like, I'm pretty sure normally it's like 30 seconds, but with, you know, normally again, you're usually wearing Black Cat or Chaos, which has negative curse resistance, and with Black Cat, I'm pretty sure it's like a whole minute of curse. Okay, it's taking too long to charge up, but it's like a whole minute of curse, which is just terrible, because you can't use items without, you know, taking a lot of damage. And the thing about curse itself is that it's not even that great of a status effect. There are very few enemies. First off, according to the wiki, most fiends and undead are immune to curse. So, like, Devilites, you can't curse them anyways. I know you can curse Silkwings. That's the only one I can think of that you can curse. I know you can't curse Trojans and you can't curse Zombies. So yeah, like, automatically it's two monster families that are just immune to curse for some reason. And then, you know, some constructs, like, some enemies like constructs, don't attack too often, like Scuttlebots, they have to get close to attack you. I mean, against turret enemies it's really good, because they're constantly firing at a distance. Against gremlins, it's okay, but not really, because whenever gremlins get on low health, they just walk into a corner and stop attacking. Against beasts, it's very good. Against slimes, it's okay. Not so much lichens, because whenever they combine, they like reset status effects. But the only enemy I can think of that it's like really, really good against are Silkwings, because they're constantly like doing actions which deals damage because of the curse. So like even in tier 4, cursing a Silkwing will kill it in like 2 seconds if it's like actively healing something.
Yeah.
There was something else. Oh yeah, so after I made the first tier list, I started using Faust just to see if I could find a use for it. I find it to be really, really good against wolvers. Like specifically wolvers. It's alright against slimes, not against gremlins. So like slimes and wolvers are like the areas where you want to use it. And coincidentally, it's like the second most useful like thing for it would be beasts, because them teleporting counts as an action, which deals damage. So yeah, just use it against beasts, I guess, if you don't have a flourish. I don't think that was any quicker than last time, but anyways, I said most of the stuff I wanted to say. I'm gonna throw in A tier because it deals the same exact damage as Acheron, even the charge attack. Oh, I forgot to talk about the actual charge attack. Alright. Hold on, I'm gonna equip Chaos just to charge it up faster. First off, it has a really slow charge attack for some reason. I guess it's just, you know, powerful, but it's kind of annoying. So, first off, it deals the same, you know, yeah, a whole minute of curse with Black Cat. Perfection. Yeah, so it has a chance to curse you, so it's automatically like, you know, a risk of using it. In terms of damage, it does the same. I need to drink some more water.
Just drinking too much water.
Alright. Too much water. Yeah, it deals, if you're wearing... I mean, I wasn't even wearing full Black Cat. That was with Black Cat and Chaos Cowl. Yeah, that's why, I mean, even without negative curse resistance, I think it's still like 30 seconds of curse.
Yeah.
So yeah, not good at all. In terms of the damage of the charge attack, it does the same exact damage. Like I'm not gonna point them out. You can just look at the numbers. Both the swing of the sword and the projectile deal the same exact damage as Acheron, which is bad because, you know, Acheron, it's a lot faster. It's just overall a better charge, and it doesn't have a chance to curse you. And even the projectile itself, like Divine Avenger is really good because of the fact that it shoots 3 of them. And it's really good for single targets like turret enemies, because if you aim it, you can hit one enemy multiple times with like two of the different blades. Gran Faust, you can't do that because you only shoot one blade. And then on top of that, things like, you know, royal minis, or just about anything that can block projectiles, even like mechanites and other stuff. If you wanted to use it against fiends, they would dash out of the way. They all block the projectile, so it doesn't even like penetrate enemies like it's supposed to. Has a chance to curse. It's not even guaranteed curse. You could use it. You could, you know, charge up. You could charge up your Gran Faust, use it, get cursed yourself, and then not curse anything else. It's not even like guaranteed. So yeah, basically the charge attack, like the actual charge itself, even if it didn't curse you, the charge is just worse than both Divine Avenger and Acheron. So just not I mean, it's good. It's a good weapon, but not as good as the other weapons in S and A tier. I keep clicking the wrong scenes. You keep seeing my Be Right Back scene. So yeah, I'm gonna put in A tier instead of S, just because overall, I mean, it's a good weapon, but you know, there's a lot of things about it that just aren't as good as like all these other weapons. All right, Obsidian Edge. I was gonna talk about the differences between Obsidian Edge and Acheron. Yes, Acheron is number 1. To be honest, it's probably the best sword. Just because wait, hold on. Oh yeah, I'm already tabbed into. Hold on a second. Does Amputator even deal more than? Hold on, wait. 219. 240. Oh my god, it deals almost the same damage as Amputator against fiends. Bruh. Yeah, Acheron is definitely the best sword overall, I think. Even against the enemies that resist shadow damage, it does a lot of damage. It does almost the same damage as the normal damage to brandish. So yeah, Amputator is not very good at all. Yeah. It would be either. I think the two best swords is definitely Acheron and Divine Avenger are definitely the number 1 and number 2 swords. Anyways, we go away, Forge. What? Liar? What did I lie about? Maybe he doesn't agree with my with the number 1 and number 2. I mean, I'm not ordering them into the tier list in the actual like tiers. I'm just putting them in the specific tiers. Anyways, Acheron and Obsidian Edge. First off, Obsidian Edge is already going to be S tier as a shadow damage Acheron, or shadow damage Brandish. Now the thing about Obsidian Edge, which everyone probably already knows, is it's a Acheron but with poison, and as you know, poison makes it deal less basic damage. So the thing about Obsidian Edge is that the poison doesn't make too big of a difference in like 90% of the game. Like in just all of this, like up until maybe tier 3, the poison doesn't make a big difference. You can kill anything, even if there are healers, you can kill them anyways with just the pure damage of Acheron. Combuster, I mean, yeah, those are both like probably 4th and 5th. 3rd is another weapon I'll talk about in a few minutes. Obsidian Edge, I would say swap to Obsidian Edge in late parts of tier 3, like Stratum 8. Maybe Stratum 7 if you're dealing with like a Gremlin arena and there are a lot of menders around, because the healing circles can be really annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, later parts of tier 3 is where the poison does make a pretty big difference, and then especially Shadow Layers is where the poison is really nice. Except for Snarby, of course. And then I would say especially if you're in a party, having one person bring a poison weapon is really useful because the poison benefits the whole party.
Even if it is a freaking Striker Venom. Even if that poison weapon is a Dread Venom Striker.
I mean, Dread Venom. It's got Dread Venom Strikers. It's like short range. The charge. I didn't even talk about the charge attack of. I didn't even talk about the charge attack of Cutters, but it's not good. Again, it doesn't stagger, which is the main problem because you're stuck there for so long. And I've hit this bag with 3 charge attacks and it hasn't been poisoned. What?
No. Not.
Excuse me? 4 charge attacks and it hasn't been poisoned. There we go. What the? Did I just get really unlucky, or is it just that low of a chance? Meanwhile, Obsidian Edge is, I think, basically guaranteed. I can just do that. I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed poison. So yeah, it's ranged, it's faster, it's more reliable, more damage, and the poison is way more consistent than Dread Venom Striker. So yeah, and then I mean, all that aside, it's a shadow damage brandish. It's already gonna be S tier. If I were ordering these, I would put Obsidian Edge behind Acheron because Acheron is better in most of the game. Like all of tier 1 and tier 2, you don't really need the poison. The extra damage is just better. Sudaruska. Oh boy, it's time to talk about the Troikas. Some of my favorite
1 hour
weapons.
of just saying.
One hour. 7 hours of explaining why Troikas are the best. Okay, not really, but kind of. So the thing about Troikas is they're actually really good weapons. Like just the weapon itself is good. Unfortunately, there's only 2 in the game and they both deal normal damage. If there was like an elemental damage Troika, it would be better than a brandish. It would be better than Combuster, than Voltedge. I mean, Divine Avenger is an elemental damage 2-swing weapon, and it's already arguably better than Combuster. Not even arguably, it is in some cases better than brandishes. Actually, in a lot of cases, better than brandishes. So if there was a Troika that did like just shadow damage or just elemental damage, it would be really good. It is a slow weapon, but I mean that's not really a bad thing. 2-swing weapons are really good. If I were to actually, I might do this sometime later this weekend. I'm not sure. I might make another tier list on just light attacks because 2-swing weapons are actually amazing in terms of the regular attack. It's got incredible range. It staggers, even in tier 4, they still stagger enemies. If you actually hit them, that is. And then, yeah, it's got a lot of range, and with sword stepping, it makes them just a lot better because you have a lot more mobility with being able to just move around a few tiles as you do regular attacks. So as it's already a 2-swing weapon. The way the weapon is itself is like, again, like if I compare this to the normal damage brandish, Sudaruska is like, Troikas are better than brandishes. Like that's just a fact. Like Troikas are like, Sudaruska is the best normal damage sword. It is better than Amputator, even though Amputator is, you know, a brandish, an almighty brandish. Troikas are better. If you know how to use them correctly, that is. Because, what was I trying to say? Brandishes, you know, they're fast, they're very spammable, you can just kind of do that and then walk away. Troikas have a lot more damage, but you have to space your attacks. You have to, like, plan your attacks a lot more because of how much slower they are. You have to space them correctly so you don't get hit. Yeah, they deal a lot of damage. They deal, I mean, yeah, the one strong part of Troikas is the knockback, which is nice because even if you don't kill an enemy, you can knock it away from you, and yeah, you just get them out of your face and you can walk away, charge it up again, go back, hit them again, and just keep doing that. And the knockback is a lot more consistent than brandishes, because brandishes, the only knockback is just from the explosions, and even then, it only goes in this straight line. Sudaruska, it affects this whole area in front of you and knocks enemies just far away. And then Sudaruska in particular, the stun is really good. I'll talk about Triglav in a second, but the stun from Sudaruska is really nice for just getting enemies to just stop attacking for a second, or to just slow them down. Triglav, I used to fake hate Triglav. I pretended to hate it because it wasn't Sudaruska, but I decided to actually make one because I was looking at the damage tables for freeze, and I realized that Triglav technically has more DPS than Sudaruska because of the freeze. The freeze does deal damage if you let the enemies thaw out, but you have to freeze them first if that would happen. Okay, this is not a very good demonstration. I thought the freeze was more consistent than this. But yeah, if you do let the freeze thaw out, it does technically have more DPS, which is the reason why I decided to make a Triglav. Other than that, I don't think it's worth making, because the freeze stops them from being knocked back, which is one of the strong parts of the Troikas. It just removes the knockback, and also the wiki even says this, like someone wrote this in the wiki page for Triglav, that the freeze can be dangerous because what can happen, and this has happened to me when I was heating up whatever the 4-star is. Javelek. When I was heating, this actually happened to me a few times when I was heating up. What can happen is that you can freeze an enemy, and then they don't get knocked back because of the freeze, and then because you're still recovering from their charge attack because it's a really slow charge, they'll just hit you because they don't take the knockback, and because you don't have the stun from Sudaruska. Like, even the Sudaruska, even if you didn't knock them away from you, the stun still slows them down enough to where you can shield or walk away. Which is why I'm going to be placing Sudaruska higher than Triglav. Well, no, actually I'm going to place them in the same tier, but if I were to order them, Sudaruska would be well above Triglav. Yeah, so the freeze, technically it's more DPS, but it's definitely not worth actually using. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. So Troikas, I'm placing Sudaruska into A tier. And I'm also going to place Triglav into A tier just because it is a Troika. I wouldn't recommend using it over Sudaruska, but if you really want just the damage, then sure, go ahead. If I were actually ordering these, I would probably put Sudaruska at like maybe here with Gran Faust at the top. But yeah, it is a good weapon. Troikas are a good weapon. If you know how to use them correctly, they are better than Brandishes. I mean, they're not better than these Brandishes because they only deal normal damage, which is, again, the whole thing about normal damage weapons being inferior. It's automatically kind of worse. But like, if there was an elemental Troika, or a shadow Troika, or even a piercing Troika, they would be in S tier. Honestly, they would probably be on par with Acheron if there was like a shadow Troika. They're just that good. Because another thing about Brandishes, I mean, this is like a small detail that doesn't affect their ranking at all, just because everything else about Brandishes are just overpowered. But another small thing about Brandishes is that the explosions count as a projectile. So Devilites will dash away, Mechanites will shield it, etc. Wolvers will teleport around, but with Troikas there is no projectile. So for like Mechanites, they won't try to defend it, which is nice, and then you can knock them away. Which one is next? Turbillion. One of my favorite weapons. Turbillion is the only weapon that actually shoots a projectile, the only sword that actually shoots a projectile with its normal attack, which is unique. I like to compare Turbillion to Strikers. It's just a better Striker, or yeah, just better than Strikers in almost every way. Actually, I think it's better than Strikers in every way. First off, it doesn't have a status effect or a damage bonus, which is really good. It's just pure normal damage. Unfortunately, it does also deal normal damage, which is, again, that whole thing I just said about normal damage weapons being inferior. So it's automatically like mid-tier. It has a really good normal attack. I don't think I have my... I can't really compare it with Leviathan Blade, but it does deal a good amount of damage on the regular attack, and the projectile is really nice. So I'm gonna compare some of the things about the qualities of Turbillion with Dread Venom Striker. So first off, the damage. Turbillion does deal enough damage to stagger. Maybe not in like maybe not in like Stridum 8, but like in like the beginning of Tier 3 and the rest of the game, it does deal enough damage to actually stagger. But even then, it's not as close range as Dread Venom Striker. The first swing itself has a lot more range, like I'm hitting it with both parts. And then, of course, it shoots a projectile, which has a lot more range, so it doesn't even really need the staggering. I mean, the staggering does help, of course. I mean, being able to stagger with any weapon is nice. But, like, it's not as close range as Cutters. Which is, again, those are both of the issues I had with Cutters, is that they didn't stagger and they were too... and that the first swing had too much knockback. This one, it shoots a projectile. And it staggers, so it's already better in both of those cases. And then there's the charge attack. Now, Turbillion has what I think is the most complex charge attack. It's like I forgot to mention this in the first time I did this tier list, but the Turbillion allows you to move, like change the direction that you're facing while you're doing the charge. So I can release the charge attack while I'm facing down and move my mouse up, and I'll fire it up. So you can like change the direction that you're actually... Oh, I actually hit it 3 times there. You're gonna see how rare that is in a few minutes. So yeah, you can change the direction that you fire it. But other than that, I really like the idea of Turbillion charge, or the Turbillion charge attack, because how it works is it's kind of like a mixture between a Calibur charge and a Magnus charge attack. So Turbillion has a hitbox all the way around the player that it does a lot of damage. First of all, 400 damage. It's even for a normal damage weapon, that's quite a bit. But yeah, it has a small hitbox around the player that knocks things back, similar to a Calibur. Okay, I lagged there for a second, but you still saw it get knocked back. And then you can hit the enemy with the charge attack, or the projectile. These guys are too weak to really show it off. I mean, I could show it off with the lower version because I'm a maniac and I have every star of Spur level 10. Don't ask why. So, you know, I can knock it there and hit it with the charge. Unfortunately, the projectile sucks, which I'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, you can knock enemies back and then hit them with the projectile. Speaking of the projectile, it's really bad. I don't know why, it's just sometimes you can hit something. I mean, it doesn't happen too often, but sometimes you can hit something and the charge attack, or no, the projectile just goes clean through it without hitting it. Most of the time, it'll only hit an enemy once, which is bad. I've somehow managed to hit this target enemy bag twice. I was able to hit it 3 times. I hit this 3 times, which is really rare, and that only happens if you hit it at the end of the projectile. Like that. Okay, this is like the perfect distance to do that. Up 2 again. 3. Alright, I should have used the spot last time. Very rarely you can hit them 3 times with the charge attack. But yeah, the projectile, I'm not really sure what the deal with the projectile is, but it's just not good. It only hits like once or twice, very rarely 3 times, but that's very rare. Like you're not gonna be able to hit that consistently, like when you're actually in combat. And then the damage of the projectile isn't that good. 190, which I think is, yeah, it's worse than the regular attack. It does, you know, pierce, which is okay, but even then it's just not, it doesn't deal enough damage to be good. Other than that, I do consider it better than Cutter Charge, because Cutter Charge, it's just not good. Like, you know, you hit a lot, whatnot, but
It holds you.
yeah, it holds you in place. It doesn't stagger. Sometimes it staggers, but not really. It's just not good. But so I am gonna place Turbillion higher than Cutters. The light attack is really good. It does have a really nice normal attack. I wouldn't consider it better than 2 swing weapons, but I do consider the Turbillion better than regular 3 swing weapons like Caliburs or Brandishes. Anyways, I think I've rambled way too much about this. I'm gonna throw in... not sure. I think B tier, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's okay. The charge attack is not okay, but the regular attack is alright. And then, last but not least, Warmaster Rocket Hammer. So, I used to think that...
That's it.
I used to think that Warmaster Rocket Hammer was really, really bad, until I discovered that you can sword step the dash. Which I didn't know you could do, and that changed everything about it, because the problem with Warmaster Rocket Hammer that I had was that the first swing, because most of your damage comes off of this dash, which deals a lot of damage, by the way. Also, fun fact, Warmaster Rocket Hammer deals the same exact amount of normal damage as Sudaruska. So this is a elemental Sudaruska, kind of. I mean, in the attack it's not, but in the damage it is. So yeah, like, most of your damage comes from this dash, and the problem that I was having a while ago, like a really long time ago, was that the first swing deals too much knockback. I can't really hit them with the dash if I knock them away first. I'm gonna get a lower starred one so I don't instantly kill them. So like, you know, I only hit it once there. Only a few times there. I hit the one that was next to me, but I didn't hit the one that I was aiming for. But then I found out that you can sword step the dash, which changes everything, because I can now hit them with the swing and the dash. And after using it for a while and actually leveling it up, I found out that Warmaster Rocket Hammer is also one of the best weapons in the game. It only deals elemental damage, so you can't really use it against gremlins or beasts. I feel like it would be really good against beasts if there was one that didn't deal elemental damage. But yeah, it's really good for just about anything, to be honest. The only problem is it doesn't stagger, but if the dash could stagger, this weapon would be overpowered. Because you could just attack anything and then just stagger everything in front of you. It's really good for turret enemies like gun puppies. And then you can also, what you can do is you can sword step. I mean, you're not really moving, but you can sword step the end of it to do this, to constantly do dashes without having to shield cancel. Because when you shield cancel, you knock the enemy away from you, which is like the complete opposite of what you're trying to do. So if you just constantly sword step it, you can just do this and keep dealing damage. Just overall, really, really good normal attack. I'm not sure if I were to do a tier list on regular attacks, I'm not sure if I would do Warmaster Rocket Hammer or 2 swing weapons, because they're both really good. They both have a lot of things about them that are nice. Warmaster Rocket Hammer isn't as practical in terms of the just the staggering, because you have this whole dash part you have to get through, which is very mobile. Like here, you can just do it twice without moving much. Here, you have to like dash all the way over here. I mean, you could also, one thing you could do is you could do normal swing, shield cancel normal swing, and then do a third swing like this, but this honestly takes too long to do, and I don't really see why you'd do it if you can just dash into them and kill them. Like, just attack one enemy at a time. And then there's the charge, which it deals a lot of damage, but it sends you forward, and okay, it has a really weird hitbox. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it has a really strange hitbox, but it's not very useful because if you miss if you miss either of the two explosions, you're very likely to get hit. Depending on how you actually used it. It deals almost the same damage as a Sudaruska charge, but Sudaruska is a lot better. For the charge attack, that is. I think that's about everything on Warmaster Rocket Hammer.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. The charge the charge attack is the charge attack is okay. If you space it correctly, you know, it can stagger. It's pretty good. But it locks you in place, and it's risky to use if you miss at all. Like if you miss either of the two explosions, then you're very likely to just get hit because you're locked in place for so long. So yeah, S tier without a doubt. If I were ordering these, it would be Acheron, Divine Avenger, then Hammer. Like they're just those are just the three best weapons in the game. Surprisingly, I didn't put anything in F tier because even the E tier weapons are usable. I guess I'm gonna move these down because yeah, same thing as I said earlier. Why would you make these over Final Flourish? I'm gonna move the pillow to F tier because it looks cool, but it's really bad because it has a status effect and a damage bonus, which both make it deal less damage. So I mean, these two both also have one of those two things. I mean, the stun might be good. I don't know. I don't have a Celestial Saber. The stun might be okay, but I doubt it. I think having the pure damage is most likely just the better way to go. I'm gonna move Fang Of Vog up because Fang Of Vog is really powerful. It just lights you on fire, so you need to have a very specific setup in order to use it effectively. F tier would be an E tier. What? Oh, I lost my tier list.
Anyways.
I mean, yeah, normally E tier is the F tier, but it goes from A, B, C, D to F. There is no E, so I thought I'd add the E tier. Because it's not how the alphabet works. I mean, neither does S tier, but I don't really... No, there's just an S tier up there. Yeah, why does it go from D to F? Like who decided to get rid of the E tier? I mean, it kind of works symmetrically. Is that a word? Symmetrically?
Yeah.
Like C tier is the middle, then you got B and A, and then D and E, which are both below it, and then you have S, which is the best, and F, which is like the very worst. So like, I don't know why there wouldn't be an E tier. I'm gonna move cutters are just the worst. Don't use them, please. I mean, unless you want to, they do look nice, but they're not good at all. They're just bad. They don't deal a lot of damage. They don't stagger. They don't have good range. The charge isn't good. The poison from Vile Hunting Blade isn't even consistent enough to use it. Cold Iron Vanquisher, it's a Calibur. It's okay, but the damage bonus isn't that great. Celestial Saber, same thing, but the stun is a little better than the damage bonus. And then the Leviathan Blade is the best out of these three because it's just damage. Flourishes, I mean, Flourishes themselves are good, but I'm gonna move these. I'm have these down in D tier because Final Flourish is just better. The fire is useless, and the stun is probably not useful at all, and it probably is just as inconsistent as the fire is. So just make Final Flourish instead. B tier, you have Amputator. It's honestly not that good, even though it's a brandish. It's not that good of a weapon. The normal damage, like I'm actually surprised. Hold on. I'm actually surprised. I never noticed that, but Amputator deal like Acheron, even against enemies that resist shadow damage. Acheron deals almost the same damage. 219 versus 246. That's very close, considering this is a shadow weapon versus an enemy that resists shadow damage. Normal 361 versus 246, and then 400. Yeah, just that's mostly a thing with Acheron than it is than Amputator. Turbillion, it's got a good normal attack. The charge isn't that good. That's about it for that one. It's an okay normal attack if you really wanted to make it. Fang Of Vog, it's got a really powerful charge attack. The light attack is a lot slower for some reason, but it can light the enemies on fire. And it's a very, very powerful charge attack, but it lights the player on fire. So you have to, in order to really use it effectively, you have to have like a specific loadout with fire resistance and like damage UVs to like make up for the damage from not having Black Cat. A tier, you have Flourishes. They're just good weapons. I don't think they're good enough for S tier, but they are really nice to have. Gran Faust, it's just an okay. It's good, but the curse is not that great, to be honest. But it is a 2-swing weapon, which is really nice. Speaking of 2-swing weapons, you have the Troikas, which are by far the best normal damage weapons. Or swords, not weapons, but I can't speak. In a all weapons tier list, Troikas would be pretty high up there, but I'm not ready to make that yet because first off, I don't have a lot of experience with most of the bombs, and I still have a few guns I need to make and use before I can make a good give them a good ranking.
Yeah.
But yeah, Troikas are nice. Triglav, not as good. I mean, the freeze technically does more damage, but I don't think it's worth having.
It's using freaking Triglav is like a gambling.
It's like a what?
A gambling session, like if everything goes right, you win. But if everything goes wrong, you lose.
You die.
You die. That's it.
And then S tier. I don't really think I have to explain S tier. These are kind of just the best weapons. You have Brandish, 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 Divine Avenger, Brandish, Brandish, Hammer. I just realized 5 of them, like more than half the tier list, or half the S tier is Brandishes. Goes to show that, maybe they're a little unbalanced. But yeah. Glacius, probably the last one in this tier list if I were to order it. Because the freeze just isn't that... Yeah. I mean, it's still an elemental grinder, so it's still up here. I already said this like 3 times, but Divine Avenger, Hammer, and Acheron are definitely the 3 best. They're just really, really good. Acheron does a ton of damage. Divine Avenger does the same elemental damage, but it also has, in a lot of cases, a better charge attack than Brandish's. Then Hammer has probably the best normal attack, especially with that dash, and then, elemental Brandish's, and then Obsidian Edge, which is nice for the poison, especially in lower depths.
And that's about it.
Yeah, I was rambling for a bit. Well, this is the tier list. It's a little bit different than the previous ones. Or the previous one, mainly because there's an E tier now, because there previously wasn't one. Am I even okay? I was worried that I wasn't even showing the tier list on the thing. All right, well, I think I talked about this for too long. And then there's Faust down here for some reason. I mentioned this in the other one, but for some reason there's Faust in this tier list. So it's a 4-star. I'm not gonna rank it. So yeah, this is the tier list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. I don't have an ending scene. I should probably make one of those. I should probably make something in Spiral Spy, like with the animated background.
Just your freaking character dancing with a freaking Sudaruska and hammer.
Okay, I can't make that.
In both hands.
Well, that was wait, I'm not being right back. I'm right here. Well, that's it, I guess.
I'm sad you didn't talk about Troikas for 1 hour.
I'm sorry. I should probably just I should probably just redo the whole tier list, but it's just Sudaruska and Triglav.
Sudaruska, S tier because Sudaruska.
I mean, the thing is, this is a little off topic, but the thing is, I think that if you were to do like arcade but with only like 2-star weapons, I think Troika would probably be one of, if not the best. Actually, yeah, considering Magnus's, because you know, unpopular opinion, Kamarin is the second best weapon, 3-star weapon. It is the second best weapon. 3-star brandishes suck. They're just not good. The explosions are really small. The damage is okay. Kamarin, the thing about Troika is that the 2-star is exactly the same as the 5-star except for the damage. The range is the same. The knockback is the same. The stun is the same. So I think if you were to do, for example, something like an arcade run with only 2-star weapons, I think your best bet would be to bring would be to bring a Troika and then maybe like an autogun or something. I'm not sure because because there aren't any 2-star Magnuses. I said Kamarin was the second best. Wait, where is it? I said that Kamarin was the second best normal 3-star weapon because you have access at 3 stars. You have access to
Magnus.
The Tundras, wherever it is. I probably scrolled past it twice. Nope. Tundra, so there we go. Definitely the best 3-star weapon. Because Magnuses are also a little unbalanced, but this isn't a guns tier list, so I'll talk about that whenever I get around to actually making a guns one.
Gun.
And then there are autoguns, which are also alright at 3-star.
Under there's Blitz.
And then there's Blitz.
B
But yeah,
tier.
Troikas... Unfortunately, they're limited to the normal damage, but even then, they still make a pretty big impact in the meta against every other weapon. They're good. It's a good weapon. If you can use it correctly, it's a good weapon. I mean,
it's good.
I don't think.
And they're thick.
I don't think there's any way to make it better than like a Combuster, because elemental brandish, it's not very easy to beat, especially if you're comparing it to a weapon that deals normal damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, Troika good is the conclusion to this tier list. Troika good.
Troika good. 10 out of 10.
Well, I don't have an ending, so I'm just gonna end it here, and then I'm gonna wait like 10 seconds because there's a 10-second stream delay.